Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week.
So how do you like your lettuce, Paul?
In a burger bun, except without the burger because I'm a vegetarian, I forgot. Yeah.
Do you like it horizontal or vertical?
Oh, interesting. Well, if you're going to eat lettuce, I think it has to be horizontal.
Okay, but did you know that they grow it vertical sometimes?
You're talking about vertical farming.
I am. We've got a very interesting article about 5 reasons why vertical farming is still the future, despite all the recent business failures.
Yeah. It's very interesting that there have been some very big business failures. Mm-hmm. One American vertical farming business was valued at $2.3 billion, but is now worth a couple of $1 million. Yeah.
From 2.3 billion
to
a couple of million.
There's another one that went from 1.9 billion to just 15 million.
Oh, just 15 million. That's pocket change, isn't it?
Well, 1.9 billion is pocket change if you're Elon Musk, I suppose.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But anyway, what did you think about it? Talks about the reasons for the business failures. And I thought it was particularly interesting because obviously with the cost of living crisis and one of them being the cost of energy.
Yeah.
And it talks about the rising energy costs.
Yeah. I suppose I think that sort of business model, it's an energy intensive business. Mm-hmm. Because you're basically growing food that wouldn't actually grow outside in the sunlight in a warehouse.
Yeah.
So you're having to light it with infrared, ultraviolet, whatever you need.
Yeah. There's a wonderful picture, isn't there, of inside of one of these establishments, and you can see all the lighting on the underside of all the shelves. So obviously the herbs, the strawberries, the tomatoes, the grapes, the lettuce is all growing on the shelf. And then before the next shelf underneath, they've got all the lighting. So it's loads and loads and loads of lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see how many layers, like 10, 15 layers there?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it goes further than the photo shows, doesn't it? It must be immense.
Yeah. So it's still a big, it's very energy intensive. But let's look at the 5 reasons why vertical farming might still be the future.
Yeah.
So number 1, we're still early.
Yeah, still early.
So vertical farming is still in its infancy as a business, as an industry, and I suppose it's still in its experimental stage.
Yeah, I love that phrase they've got there. It says learning by doing.
Yeah.
Are you the kind of person who learns by doing?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't learn by textbooks.
Well, some people, I'm going to say some people learn by reading, some people learn by watching, but I think the best way is learning by doing.
Yeah.
And it talks about NASA, doesn't it? Space scientists trying to grow food in hostile environments with zero gravity and heavy radiation. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's an experiment. Mm-hmm. I think, I imagine it could play a big role in food production in the future.
If they can sort out the cost of energy.
Yeah. Solar panels on the roof, that's all they need.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, what about number 2? It says heavy plant demand is growing. Now, when you drive in the UK, you might see a sign that says, warning, heavy plant crossing. And it doesn't mean there's a big flower crossing the road or a
big carrot or a big tomato crossing the road.
Heavy plant is the English way to refer to really heavy construction vehicles. Yeah. We're talking diggers, big heavy forklift trucks.
Yeah, big heavy machinery involved in construction.
Yeah, any heavy machinery, and they call it heavy plant.
Yeah, I don't think when this headline "heavy plant demand is coming" isn't referring to that. It's talking about the high demand for plants.
Yeah, so here heavy is a synonym for high, increased demand for the actual plants, and they're really talking about plants.
Yeah,
but it's a nice little play on words, isn't it?
Yeah, very interesting play on words. So, so the demand for plant-based food is rising. So that means there's greater pressure on existing land resources.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Yeah.
Vertical farming might be the future if more and more people demand more and more lettuce.
Yeah. It says it can recycle water and nutrients. It's a circular bioeconomy. Everybody's talking about circular economy.
Yeah.
So it could be good.
Who knows? Okay. Science is on its side, number 3.
Yeah. Now, this is where it talks about the LEDs. Now, I'm not really up on LEDs. It either works or it doesn't. It's either an orange light or a white light.
Or a pink light or a green light or a blue light. LEDs can be any colour.
Okay.
Well, I think science is on its side. I think sort of this links to the first one.
Okay.
Really, because the first, number one, we're still early.
Yeah.
It's still the very early stages of developing vertical farming. And the science is still evolving.
It's dependent on the type of lighting. Yeah. It says far red light, which is just beyond visible red light, promotes growth and flowering. So we need far red light.
Yes, raising lettuce yields by 30%. So 30% more crop.
But it says blue light can improve shelf life and nutritional quality, even enhancing certain plant chemicals known to help prevent cancers. So you want a bit of blue as well.
Yeah, bit of red, bit of blue.
Okay.
Okay, so the science is developing.
Yeah.
And the science will help make it more efficient.
Bit like chicken and the egg.
Yeah.
Improve the lighting, improves the vertical plant growing.
Yeah.
Or the vertical in plant growing will encourage people to investigate and improve the lighting.
Quite possibly, yeah. And somewhere down the line, we need cheap energy for the lighting.
Yeah. Okay.
Which might arrive.
Okay, what about number 4?
It's horses for courses.
Now, what does that mean, horses for courses?
Well, that is a good question.
That's an expression.
Horses for courses. It kind of means that it's... my understanding of horses for courses would be it's just the way things are.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
It's not an easy one to explain.
No, it's not.
It's just, it's just the way things are.
It's an idiomatic expression, isn't it? Yeah. It says, growing leafy greens indoors in California is challenging. In California was where they invented the iceberg lettuce. Now, if you go into English supermarkets and you see lettuce and it says iceberg, an iceberg is those lettuces that are tightly packed like an iceberg.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to keep fresh longer, and they don't get infected with bugs so much.
I think that's because they're tightly compacted, so the bugs can't get in there. Yeah, I had no idea the iceberg lettuce was developed in California.
Yeah, but it means it helps farmers grow lots of salad greens because they're so tight and you can pack them together.
Yeah.
And there's less wastage.
But particularly in California, you don't necessarily need vertical indoor farms because there's so much sunshine anyway.
Now, let's contrast that. It says Singapore, only 6% of fresh produce is grown locally. So vertical farming is a key solution for them.
Yeah. And in places like, the Emirates.
Yeah. They import 90% of food.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having to import 90% of your food?
Yeah.
There are lots of sort of smallish islands scattered around the world that have to import food. Lots of little sort of smallish places that have to import almost everything. And when you go and visit those places, everything is mega expensive because everything has to be imported.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the alternative is you can create those things or that food for yourself, it should be a lot cheaper.
Well, that's the plan. That's the idea.
Although, isn't everyone rich in the Emirates? I'm not sure.
Don't know. Well, let's talk about the last one. Baby and bath water. Now, what does it mean to don't chuck the baby out with the bath water? That means don't, abandon all plans. Have a look and see which ones are valuable before you, stop doing everything.
Yeah. Don't throw the baby out with the bath water. You might find that the thing that the project that you're working on is going to fail, but there are certain elements
which can lead to future successes.
Yeah. So you've got to keep those things.
Something's valuable.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I mean, do you think we could go into business setting up a vertical farm?
No, we've got a strawberry cascade, haven't we, outside? We're sort of not exactly vertical, more on the diagonal.
Yeah, well, it's a cascade.
Upwards. Yeah, it's a cascade.
It's the strawberry cascade.
Yeah, we had a piece of land that was very, very steep, so we got some blocks to sort of step it a little bit.
Yeah,
and
filled it with strawberries.
We filled it with strawberries, so they're sort of growing over each other like a waterfall.
Yes.
Yeah.
What else could we grow in a cascade?
Well, you've got a mint cascade, haven't you? The other side.
Yeah. Do you think tomatoes might grow like that in a cascade?
It says they grow them vertically. We can have a go if you like this summer.
Or the herbs and spices and chili plants.
Chili plant cascade. I like that.
Oh,
yeah, but just for us.
Oh yeah, not for anyone else. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that's something a little bit different. I didn't know much about vertical farming.
Yeah.
Have a look at the article.
I think we particularly like this article because of the sort of idiomatic expressions.
Yeah.
They're in there, like courses for courses,
baby in the
bathwater. Lots of really interesting expressions.
Heavy plant crossing.
I didn't know tomatoes were so heavy.
Okay, we'll take a look and we'll catch you again next week.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.